welcome to Bell Point Community Church's Good Friday service. We're glad you're able to join us, and we hope that you'll find this encouraging and inspirational. King David writes, "I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart. I recount all of your wonderful deeds. I will be glad and exult in you. I will sing praises to your name, O Most High." So at this time, I would invite you, wherever you are, to worship in your heart and in your spirit as Amy leads us in a couple of songs. And if you'd like, you can join right along as she sings. The words will be up on the screen behind.
When I survey the wondrous cross on which the Prince of Glory died, my riches gain I count but loss, and pour contempt on all my see from his head, his hands, his feet, sorrow and love, though mingled down, did bear such love and sorrow meet, or thorns compose so rich a crown. With the whole realm of nature mine, that were in offering for too small, love so amazing, so divine, demands my soul, my life, my own. Savior, I come, quiet my soul, remember redemption's here, where your blood was spilled for my ransom. Everything I once held dear, I counted all as lost. Lead me to the cross,
Our scripture lesson for this Good Friday comes from the Gospel of John, the 19th chapter, verses 8 through 11. "Where do you come from?" Pilate asked Jesus. But Jesus gave him no answer. "Do you refuse to speak to me?" Pilate said. "Don't you realize that I have the power either to free you or to crucify you?" Jesus answered, "You would have no power over me if it were not given to you from above. Therefore, the one who handed me over to you is guilty of a greater sin." We take a moment and just pray for me as I deliver this message, and I'll pray for you in receiving it. Amen. Do you recognize the name Eugene J. Pauly? You may not know his name, but most likely you use his very well-known invention every single day. Pauly lived his entire life in the Chicago area, where he worked for the Zenith Electronics Company for 47 years. Hired as a stock boy during the Depression, he eventually became an engineer with 18 patents to his credit. But his most famous device would become known as the TV remote control. In 1950, Zenith released a product called Lazy Bones, a cumbersome gadget tethered to the TV by this long cord. As Zenith's founder demanded, "We've got to have something better than this." So in 1955, Mr. Pauly produced an innovation called the Flashmatic, a ray gun remote control sold just as TV sets were making their way into every single American home. Absolutely harmless to humans. That was what the Flashmatic ad promised. Within decades, a television could be found in practically every single American home, and nearly every TV set had a remote control to go with it. At one point in his life, Pauly had the high hopes for his invention. He said, "Maybe I did something for humanity, like the guy who invented the flush toilet." I don't know. Did he really do something great for the world? You'll have to be the judge on that. But how many conflicts have resulted over who is in control of the remote? Speaking more generally, it seems that as human beings, we really do like to have control. It gives us a sense of power. It gives us seemingly the ability to determine our own destinies, our own desires. If this whole coronavirus pandemic has shown us one thing, it's that control is an illusion. Control is an illusion. Philosophers and writers have actually addressed this interesting topic for the very longest time. One ancient Greek wrote, "Happiness and freedom begins with a clear understanding on one principle. Some things are within your control, and some things are not." Shakespeare's play, The Tempest, deals extensively with the illusion that we are in control. He drives this home at the very last line of the play. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. More recently, in the 1970s, New York City installed buttons at intersections with traffic lights. Helpful signs instructed pedestrians to cross the street, push the button, wait for walking signal. And pedestrians in New York routinely assume that pushing the button speeds up the arrival of the walking sign or signal. As it happens, it was true for a while, but it's not true anymore. Since the late 1980s, traffic signals in New York have been actually controlled by a central computing system that determines when the walking signal is illuminated. Pushing the button has absolutely no effect. But the city has not paid to remove the signs or the buttons, and pedestrians push those buttons all day long anyway. They're convinced that they are in control. But it is just an illusion. And I wonder if it's that way here in Delaware, in the Columbus area. Probably is, wouldn't you think? In our scripture verse for today, we hear Pontius Pilate make the most confident statement to Jesus. Don't you realize that I have power, either to free you or to crucify you? Now, he honestly believes this. From an earthly perspective, it certainly appears that way. Here, Pilate stands in his impressive palace fortress, dressed in the finest clothes, surrounded by hundreds, if not 1,000 or more armed troops that obey his every command without question. No one in that region, no one was more powerful than him, not even King Herod, the king of the Jewish nation. Pilate rules as Caesar's representative, and before him stands this Jesus with not a penny to his name, no place to call home, abandoned by all of his friends, stripped and bloodied from a brutal Roman beating, a crown of woven thorns upon his head, hands and legs in irons. Then Jesus sets Pilate straight regarding how things really are. You would have no power over me if it were not given to you from above. Therefore, the one who handed me over to you is guilty of a greater sin. Pilate, it turns out, is terribly mistaken, and Jesus' words pierce him like a razor-sharp sword. He's thoroughly shaken, actually, from this encounter with Jesus, and the scriptures tell us that from that point on, he did everything he possibly could to free Jesus. Even though that could be seen as a noble effort on Pilate's part, it shows that God is in control. And his will be accomplished with or without our cooperation. Nothing, you see, was going to derail God's plan to redeem humanity. Nothing. And that means nothing or no one was going to be able to prevent Jesus from going to the cross. Even a well-intentioned Pontius Pilate. Doesn't this just kind of fill you with awe and wonder what God did for us through his Son, Jesus Christ? It means so much to us, particularly in regard to our salvation. However, I would like to encourage us to see it from another angle too. Pastor Timothy Keller at Redeemer Church in New York City points out that many times you and I find ourselves saying something like, I believe in God. I trusted God, and he did not come through for me. Now, many people are able to get past that. However, some respond by lowering their expectations with regard to God, and they qualify or begin to curtail their prayers. Still, some others take it one step further and they walk away from God entirely. Do you know anybody like that who's responded in these ways? I do, and I have. But this statement, I believe in God, I trusted in him, and he did not come through for me, it's actually very revealing. It reveals our desperate desire to be in control of things. It also demonstrates that we only trust God to meet our own personal agendas, at least when we have that kind of attitude or we say that kind of thing. It denies the fact that God has a superior agenda that he intends for our welfare and for the benefit of others, and to bring honor and glory to his name. He is always good. Because he came to understand things from this perspective, the renowned Bible scholar Alan Redpath was able to write this. He says, "There's nothing, no circumstances, no trouble, no testing that can ever touch me until, first of all, it has gone past God and past Christ right through me. If it has come that far, it has come with a great purpose, which I may not understand at the moment. But as I refuse to become panicky, as I lift my eyes to him and accept it as coming from the throne of God for some great purpose to bless, a blessing to my own heart, no sorrow will ever disturb me. No circumstances will cause me to fret, for I shall rest in the joy of what my Lord is. That is the rest of victory." You and I are not in control. We're not. Control is really only an illusion for us, but it is a reality for God. This is why Jesus, the Son of God, even before his trial and crucifixion, could make the audacious claim, "You will grieve." He's speaking to his disciples. He said, "You will grieve, but your grief will turn to joy. You will rejoice, and no one will be able to take away your joy." Now, how can this be? Because, as he himself says, "Take heart. Take heart. I have overcome the world." He is victorious. He is completely in control. And because he is in complete control, everybody who trusts in him will experience his victory. His victory in every possible way. This is the message of Good Friday. God is in control. One of my favorite Christian recording artists is a woman by the name of Twyla Paris. A few years back, she received a GMA Dove Award for her #1 hit of the year, and it's entitled "God is in Control." And now Amy's going to bring our time together to a close by sharing this song with you. And we do hope that you're encouraged by it. And on the screen, you'll see the words, you'll see the chorus, and let me encourage you to sing it along with Amy. It's really pretty easy. You may even want to commit these words to memory, especially the chorus. You know, I often find myself in times like this, just singing in my heart. And when I'm distressed, I sing the chorus of that song, that God is in control, and I'm filled actually with real hope and great joy, and it just lifts me above my current circumstances. God is in control. We believe that his children will not be forsaken. God is in control. We will choose to remember and never be shaken. There is no power above or beside him. We know God is in control. Amy?
the story marches on. There is a bottom line drawn across the ages. Culture can make its plan. Oh, but the line never changes, no matter how the deception may fly. There is one thing that has always been true. It will be true forever. God is in control. We believe that His children will not be forsaken. God is in control. We will choose to remember and never be shaken. There is no power above or beside Him, we know. Oh, God is in control. Oh, God is in control. Oh, our God is in control.
Well, we hope that you have a truly blessed Good Friday, and we look forward to celebrating Easter Sunday with you. And now, the Father, whose glory fills the heavens, cleanse you by His holiness, and send you to proclaim His word, the Son who has descended into death and ascended to the heights, pour upon you the riches of His grace, and the Holy Spirit, the Comforter, equip you and strengthen you to live a life of a faithful follower of Jesus Christ. Amen. Hi, I'm Paul McCullough, pastor at Bell Point Community Church, and I just want to say we're so glad you're able to join us this morning for worship, and we hope that you will be with us next week. And so you don't miss any of our times together, we would encourage you to subscribe to our channel.